All righty, and we are here. Hello, everybody. We are here on Facebook Live, and we are going to chat tonight about real estate and interest rates. I know that you guys have been seeing some crazy stuff on the news, so we're going to chat about all of that today. So with that being said, hi, everybody. I am Melissa Haley. I am a real estate broker, and I am with the North Texas Top Team Realtors. And tonight we are going to be talking about the state of the real estate market in 2022, specifically how interest rates affect home sales. If you want to stay informed about all things real estate, go check us out on social media channels. Our handle is at NTX Top Team. You should also check us out on YouTube for some other great videos that might help prepare you for buying or selling a home. And while we're waiting for everybody to jump on the Facebook Live, let me just quickly introduce everyone. Tonight, I have a realtor extraordinaire, Jamie Mumley, with me. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Mel.
I am so glad you are here tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I also have somebody with us tonight that is our special guest, and I know he's got a wealth of real estate knowledge, and this is Ian Jones with Integrity Mortgage. Hi, Ian.
Hi, ladies. Happy to be here tonight.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here. We are so glad you could come. Last but definitely not least, actually probably be at the top of my list, is Gabby. Gabby Powell is with us tonight. And Gabby, she is my right-hand woman. She is really in charge of the whole office. I don't know why I think I'm in charge, but she's moderating the chat for us tonight. So thank you for being here tonight, Gabby. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Hi, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we could not do it without you, for real. So for those of you who are just joining in, we're just about to get started, and we're going to be making time to answer your questions at the end of the night. So if you have any, just put those in the chat. We're going to get back to you. Also, throughout the evening, Gabby's going to be posting some links and some things, and one of them is going to be for some free information about buying a home in 2022. So if you haven't checked us out already, make sure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then make sure to check that chat box or that comment box here as we go through the night. So all of that being said, let's get started. So I would like to get a little backstory on our guest tonight. And I'm just, ladies first, I'm going to just start with Jamie. So Jamie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Jamie Mumley, and I just entered my 6th year as a realtor. Prior to becoming a realtor, I spent more than 20 years working in corporate marketing, sales, and advertising, where I honed my skills in negotiation and customer service. And in my time as a realtor, I've helped more than 100 families buy and or sell a home. For the last 4 consecutive years, I've been named a 5-star professional real estate agent, which is based on production and also feedback from past clients and peers. In my spare time, I participate in triathlons. I love watching hockey, listening to The Ticket, Loyal P1 here, and I also enjoy spending time with my husband and our 2 fur kids.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here. It's always good when people get to just know a little bit about you before we get started. And I'm just going to say, because I know you, I've known you for a long time. You're an expert in real estate, and I know you're going to have some great information for everybody today. But, I know you're amazing. So thanks so much for just being here today and for taking the time and giving us your educated information. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Awesome. All right. Well, so Ian, I don't know if you can follow up with that. So I'm just going to say, tell us a little about you. Tell us about yourself. What do you do? And what's going on in your world?
Well, I'm married. I have 2 little ones, and I do mortgages.
I love it. Short and sweet. Just keep it simple, sir. I love you can be, and let people get to know you a little bit, that you got 2 little ones and you do mortgages. I love it. So with all of this stuff going on out here, can I just say the news is all over the place. The topic that we're talking about tonight seems very timely. It's really about the financial side of buying a house, right? And man, mortgage rates have been moving really quickly over the past few, I don't know, Ian, weeks, months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Federal Reserve Bank, it's all over the news. They just raised the rate again yesterday, the biggest rate hike they've had since 94 or something, ever since I was a much younger girl then. But there's a lot going on the financial side of things. So Ian, can I just ask you to kind of start us off? Tell us what you're seeing out there in the residential mortgage market right now. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, as the Feds met and they creeped up the rates, we are seeing some of our borrowers' buying power kind of decrease. And as the tide's turning, they met yesterday. We saw the increase of 75 basis points, which, as you mentioned, is the largest increase we've seen in a hot minute. But the rates are still great and, obviously lower than the last 30-year average.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think that what you're talking about, I love it that you said it was a hot minute. It's been a little more than a hot minute, sir. But I love the great information about what is happening, because I think most people are just getting all caught up in the headlines. So with that being said, tell us a little bit more about that historically low. Where are we at in the actual realm of things?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, in the last 30 years, as we take a look back, we see some highs as much as 12%. And can you imagine buying a home at 12% interest? Because with an average of the last 30 years being 7.77 as of this moment in time, we're still below that threshold. Not to mention, if you don't like your rate initially, you can always refinance once the rates come back down.
Yeah. And I think that's what some people very well may decide that they want to do, is just, buy and then refinance. I think that's probably going to be their best bet, right? But it does seem like with the rates going up a little bit, or maybe the rates going up a lot, it seems like it's becoming more difficult for a home buyer to purchase a home right now because of the affordability factor. So Jamie, can you just speak to that a little bit? Like when you're working with buyers, what's going on out there?
So for many buyers, the increase in interest rates has reduced their buying power or the amount of home they can afford. And for some, it's taken them out of the market completely. There's still a shortage of homes available for sale. In most areas, the supply is still under 1 month of inventory. So while it's still competitive to get under contract, I feel like buyers are being less aggressive than they were earlier this year, since the interest rates went up. For sure, many homes are still selling above list price with multiple offers, but I've also noticed that some listings have had price reductions, which is not something that we've seen earlier in the year. In my area of East Dallas, for example, in the last 7 days, 19 homes have been reduced. The real estate market right now is a bit complicated, whether you're buying or selling. And that's why I think it's so important to have a knowledgeable realtor to help guide the way for you.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, they do need your help. I mean, it's complex out there. It's complicated. Things are doing weird things. And man, they definitely need the help of a real estate agent. So I guess my question would be this: do home buyers have any options? Because it sounds like things are changing. Are there options out there for them?
Oh, absolutely. There are several things that buyers can do if they're in a competitive situation to make their offer stand out. They can remove the contingency for buyer financing approval. So if they've already been through underwriting with their lender, or if they're a very secure buyer and the lender feels comfortable that they don't need final buyer approval, that's something that can make them stand out as a stronger buyer. They could do a shorter option period, put more than the typical amount of money down for the option fee, put more than the standard 1% down as earnest money. They could waive their right to terminate if the property doesn't appraise for the sale price, depending upon the amount of money they have and are able to make up the difference. They could offer to pay seller's title policy. When I'm representing a buyer, I aim to have a conversation with the listing agent first so that I can see if there's anything that the seller wants or if they have any unique needs that would make our offer stand out. For example, some sellers may need a lease back in order to find and secure their next property. So sometimes that can be the biggest difference, more so even over price. But whatever information I'm able to get, That helps me better advise my buyers on putting together the best offer that they feel good about, which is always important, because if the offer doesn't work for the buyer, then no matter how much they want the house, they're not going to be happy later.
Yeah, and then in terms of the rate and things like that, when they're going to purchase the property, you always have the option for them to be able to buy down the rate. If you haven't heard that term before, it's 1% of the loan amount being used to buy down the rate. So example, if you're financing $100,000 and the par rate for that day is 5%, you can buy down that rate, with 1 point to 4.5, and that point will cost you $1,000 to buy down your rate to a new rate of 4.5, really helping them on that buy side portion too.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like Jamie has this list of things that they can be doing. Like, we could do this to make the offer better and this to make the offer better. And then it sounds like when they go to the lender, Ian, that you can say, you know what, let me help you figure out some ways to make it more affordable. So with all of that kind of together, what I'm hearing is this is good information. This is good news for a home buyer. But I'm thinking that some home buyers might be interested in buying down the rate so that they could lock in this lower rate. But is that really the best option for them right now? Or is that the most affordable option? What do you think about that?
Well, it's one of many options, right? So the first of which is just being, a standard 30-year fixed rate, but you can also dive into an ARM if the market is allowing for it, which is an adjustable rate mortgage, and they can get a great deal up front for their initial term.
Okay.
So I've had some buyers that decided to buy down points in the past. And do you think it's a safer bet to buy down points instead of using an ARM right now, given that the rates are so volatile?
I mean, absolutely. Buying down can always be a great idea, especially if you plan on being in your home for at least 5 years, because that's generally the break-even point for the amount of money spent on the point versus the savings on the payment.
Okay. So wait, I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right. So if I'm a buyer and I want to buy a house and I want to get an ARM, how do I know how much it's going to adjust, when it's going to adjust? I mean, I might be worried if I'm buying a house that my house payment today is here, but next year or next month, it's going to skyrocket and now I can't afford it. Can you take me there a little bit? Because I'm not sure I'm getting it.
Well, Melissa, let's take a 10,000-foot view of an ARM with a scenario of a 5-1 ARM.
Okay.
In its purest form, a 5-1 ARM is locked rate for the first 5 years, and then the rate adjusts every year after for the first 5 years to the current market. Now, this could mean that after 5 years, you could be winning still, or you could have a rate that goes up quite a bit. There are some specific components to each ARM that you would need to discuss with your mortgage professional, things like what the cap is on how much the rate can go up in a given year once the initial lock term is up. I suggest that if you are to utilize an ARM, it is with the intention of most likely refinancing into something more of a fixed rate once the market does come back down. Think of it more as a leverage tool for the initial home loan and getting in at a rate that you would want to pay.
Okay, so this is good information for home buyers. And I think that they need to get it right now because it's the market is moving. And as I'm kind of hearing you, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to make it more affordable today for me as I'm deciding to buy a house. Is that what I'm hearing? Did I hear it right? I just want to make sure.
Correct. Yeah. Based on the current market conditions and how the investors are feeling that day, an ARM can make sense for that, a 5-1 ARM, 7-1 ARM, whatever that starting term is at a nice locked in rate. Correct.
Okay. Well, good. Okay. So that makes sense. So I feel like I got some affordability if I'm a home buyer. And now I know more about my house payment side of things, but can we just talk for a second about home availability? Because, it's been not a lot of homes, but a minute ago, Jamie, I think you said there's been some price decreases. So have you been seeing any changes in the housing inventory lately?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, I've noticed some price reductions, but I've also started to see an increase in days on market. So while homes are still selling relatively quickly, they're not necessarily going under contract within a day or two of listing as they were earlier this year. Also, from talking to other agents and from my own personal experience on listings, the number of offers being received has gone down. So where in January or February or even early March, a home may have gotten 25 offers, now it might receive 3 offers. So that tells me that the number of buyers has decreased, or more likely, with the increase in interest rates, buyers have had to adjust the price points that they're shopping in. Another telling sign that the market's starting to shift to me is that builders have started advertising incentives. And I've started to see more messages from listing agents through the MLS reverse prospecting feature, where they can see what buyers of mine maybe set up in a search that one of their listing falls within the criteria for. So that's something that really and truly for the last 6 months up until recently, I have not received a lot of communication through, and now it seems to be picking up again.
Like the listing agents are like, please come bring your buyer. Is that kind of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I would wonder if people are starting to slow things down a bit, maybe because I don't want to go shopping right this minute. I'm kind of waiting to see what the rates are going to do. I'm kind of waiting to see if, I mean, they keep saying on the news, the recession, maybe that's them. They're just sort of like, I want to buy, but I'm not really sure. And maybe this isn't a good time. I mean, is that kind of what you're feeling out there when you're talking to people?
I think, yeah, there's maybe some uncertainty, but despite the shift, it really still is a seller's market due to the number of available homes for sale relative to the number of buyers still looking. You know, a balanced real estate market is when there's 5 to 6 months worth of inventory available. And right now in Dallas and the surrounding suburbs, regardless of price point, there's still only about a month's worth of inventory available. Certainly with costs going up and affordability going down, the rate at which homes are appreciating will likely slow. But I think if someone's in the market to purchase a home, they should move forward and still purchase the home now, because it doesn't seem like there's going to be any relief on the interest rates in the near term. So, and I also don't think, because of the discrepancy between number of people looking and the inventory, that home prices are really going to go down that much. I do think that we're not going to see the crazy percentage increases year over year that we've seen in the past. But certainly if someone needs to purchase a home, and real estate at the end of the day is still a good investment because it's a long-term investment and everybody needs a place to live. So you might as well be building equity in your own place versus paying off your landlord's home.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Ian? Are you seeing any shift on the mortgage side?
Well, I mean, applications are lower, but remaining steady for purchase side. Apps as a whole are down because there are a lot fewer people refinancing, right? Because generally you don't refi when rates are high.
Right.
So loan apps are one of the early indicators, but looking at it from the right perspective is absolutely key in seeing the overall health and that people are still wanting to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, it's good that they're still making the applications. They're still out shopping. It looks like it's just going to take longer. And Jamie, you mentioned something that I thought was pretty smart about the prices not going down. I feel like what I'm seeing is I think you kind of alluded to this, we were having some really serious price appreciation. And now instead of seeing 20% year over year in price increase, maybe we're going to see 5, maybe we're going to see 10. Still half of what we've been seeing. It's probably going to feel like somebody put the brakes on, but it's still a price increase nonetheless. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think that we're headed for any type of crash where suddenly homes aren't going to be worth what they were before. Simply because back when that happened, it was a completely different market. And that was when there were issues with subprime lending, and there were several things feeding into that. So I don't think that we're going to see some crazy bottom fallout and that suddenly homes are going to be worth significantly less than they were previously. I do think that they're going to still be appreciating, but just to a lesser degree.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's very different, like you said, than what we saw in 2008 and 9 when all that stuff was going on, for sure. But I mean, I agree. The market is shifting. I think, I don't know, Ian, Jamie, either one of y'all, can y'all both feel like the market's shifting, right?
The market is absolutely shifting, and I believe that it's shifting in a good way that allows people who really want to get out there to purchase a home to be able to purchase a home. With Jamie talking about price reductions, time on market, things like that, that's really great for the people that are well qualified to get out there and purchase without having to overspend and, potentially be in a situation where their home isn't worth as much as they paid for it. I think we're in a great spot for all of these things to align. And I saw something on the news that said 2022 is going to be like it was in the 2019 housing market, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was still a great market then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I think that it's been so much in favor of the sellers for so long that many buyers were also starting to get fatigued. So hopefully now, with things sort of the brakes getting put on a little bit and things slowing down, and maybe it'll balance out a little bit, that it will make it an easier market to navigate in, from the standpoint of not having to make a split decision on making an offer on a property, and also, not having to pay well above, or, offer everything, including your firstborn, to have a shot at it, because it was getting a little bit out of control for a little while. And I think for sellers, and this has always been my advice to sellers, I never think it's a good idea to price your home above what the market says it should list for. I think that it's really critical to price it in line with what the comps support. And I think also sellers are going to need to be a little bit patient, because it's not going to be the free-for-all frenzy of your house goes on the market, you have 25 showings in one day, and you have 20 over list price offers to pick from.
Yeah. It's not realistic for that to be sustainable.
No, it's not, for anyone's sanity, including realtors.
Isn't that the truth? You said something though, I was kind of laughing. I think you said something like it was a little unrealistic, and I was like, it was a lot unrealistic. I don't know. We can't, it's just not sustainable to be in the place that we've been. Really isn't.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's good for the pendulum to swing back a little towards the center, but still a seller's market. So I love that. All right. So I know we've covered an awful lot of stuff today. Is there anything that we missed, that we didn't cover, as the news has been coming out over the last few days on the rate side? Ian, is there anything else that you feel like, if there's somebody out there listening that they are maybe planning to buy or sell a house in the near future, or do both, that they need to know from the mortgage side?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the biggest key takeaway right now, especially as the market, on the rate side is volatile, is to have an open dialogue with your lender if you're planning to go out there and buy a house. If you're sitting there going, hey, you know what, I feel like now is the right time, make sure you're always have an open dialogue with them about where the rates are, where they're going. Keep your pre-approvals updated so you don't find yourself in a spot where rates maybe have moved and the affordability is no longer there. That's a big piece of it right now. And then, of course, working with a great realtor like Jamie or North Texas Top Team, and making sure that, we've all established good parameters and what we're going to spend on a house. So if rates move, we're still going to be good.
Yeah. Right. And getting that rate lock, right?
Absolutely. If you've got a new build that's going on right now, and you haven't talked to a lender that can lock for 360 days, if you're a year out or even 11 to 10 months out, you need to do that. Because if it does, come back down in that amount of time, hey, you hedged yourself from where it could have gone. So get with a lender that can do a 365-day lock. I know we do those, and get it taken care of and protect yourself from wherever the market may go.
Exactly. I love that. Jamie, any other things from the realtor side that you feel like, yeah, get that pre-approval letter, make sure it stays up to date. Any other things that, if a buyer or a seller is listening right now, that's really important for them to really, yeah, go ahead.
Don't let the news scare you. I think if you have a realtor you trust, if you don't, I'm happy to become that realtor for you. But ask them questions about what's really going on and for the specific area that you're looking in, because we have access to research and inside information that can help you make educated decisions. And a realtor should be looking out for your best interests. I mean, I've had clients that I've advised, yeah, you know what, you probably don't want to sell right now to downsize, because with the rate they have locked in on their larger home, it just didn't make sense for them. So if you have questions about your specific situation, no strings attached, I'm always happy to offer advice and try to steer you in the right direction.
I love that, y'all. And Jamie, I know you're an amazing realtor. You've always got good advice for your people. So awesome. All right. Well, thanks both of you so much for all of your time today. I personally enjoy chatting with you both. I enjoy chatting with you both all the time anyway, but thanks for being here. I hope that the people that are watching got some really great information tonight. So just thanks for all of your wisdom.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me out.
Absolutely. Okay. So here's the thing. Y'all, if you've been watching for a while, I always love talking to real estate experts, getting good information on what's happening in the market. And because right now the market is so overwhelming, this is why people really need trusted professionals. You need a good realtor, you need a good lender, you need some folks that really have been there, done that, and they can help walk you through the process, regardless of if you're buying or selling. So if you need a trusted lender, call Ian. He's going to take good care of you. If you need a trusted realtor, call Jamie. She's going to take good care of you. And before we go today, I do want to check and make sure that we don't have any questions from anybody out there that, is on Facebook. So Gabby, how are we looking out there? Do we have any questions? Anything we need to cover?
No questions on this end, but you guys, this was a great live. This was a really good discussion because it's easy to panic right now. So it's good to be calm. It's good to be calmed down in this season.
Just stay calm. There are certain things we can't control. The interest rates would be one of them.
Amen.
That is exactly right. Well, y'all, this is how you can get in touch with, hang on here. There we go. This is how you can get in touch with Ian or Jamie if you have any questions or you need any help at all. I know both of them would be happy to take really great care of you. I also want to quickly remind you, if you want to stay up to date on what is going on, then follow us on social media at NTX Top Team. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you wanted that copy of the free information we have today, by the way, I didn't even tell anybody what it is. It's 8 tips for buying a home in 2022. If you want that, make sure you put your info in the chat so that Gabby can get that over to you, and we'd be happy to help. So thanks everybody for being here. I greatly appreciate it. And we will see you the next go round.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.
Bye.